My name is Ava, and I'm 23 years old. My life unfolds in the quiet, tree-lined streets of Maplewood, a small city where I live with my father and my younger sister. I work at a cozy coffee shop downtown, a job I genuinely like because I love the aroma of fresh coffee and the brief connections I make with people every day. But one morning, my routine was shattered by something completely unexpected. It was a cold, dreary morning in October, the kind where the rain seems to seep into your bones. I had woken up early for the morning shift at the cafe. As I reached for my phone, I saw a message from my best friend, Chloe. The text was short and alarming. "Ava, please come to the train station today. I desperately need you. 11 a.m. platform 5. I stared at the message, a knot of confusion tightening in my stomach. Why the train station? She hadn't mentioned any travel plans. I tried calling her, but her phone went straight to voicemail. A glance at the clock showed it was already 9:00 a.m. I had just 2 hours to get ready and make it across town. I threw on my favorite worn-in jeans, a warm blue sweater to ward off the chill, and my sturdy black boots. I grabbed my raincoat and a small black umbrella, the sound of the rain drumming against the window pane growing louder. My dad was in the kitchen, the comforting smell of breakfast filling the air. "Dad, I have to go to the train station," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "Chloe needs my help." My dad looked at me, a familiar crease of worry on his forehead. "Be careful, Ava. Call me if you need anything at all," he said. I left the house and hurried to the bus stop, the heavy rain quickly soaking the pavement. The bus was a steamy, crowded capsule of people heading into their day. I found a small spot to stand near the door, watching the rain-streaked city blur past through the fogged-up windows. 30 minutes later, I arrived at the train station. It was a chaotic symphony of echoing announcements, rumbling wheels, and the hurried footsteps of countless travelers pulling bags and suitcases. I started looking for platform 5. It took me a good 10 minutes to navigate the confusing signs and bustling crowds. But when I finally reached the platform, Chloe was nowhere to be seen. I waited. 10 minutes passed, then 15, then 20. Still no Chloe. A wave of anxiety washed over me. As I scanned the platform, my eyes settled on a small figure huddled alone on a bench. It was a young boy, clutching a small bag, his shoulders shaking slightly. He looked utterly lost and heartbroken. I slowly approached him and asked gently, "Hey, are you okay?" He looked up, and his eyes were red-rimmed as if he'd been crying for a long time. "I lost my ticket," he whispered, his voice trembling. "I don't know how to get home now." I sat down next to him. "My name is Ava. Maybe I can help you." "What's your name?" His name was Leo, he said. He had been visiting his grandmother but had somehow dropped his train ticket. He was too scared to call his mom and tell her. I dug into my bag, found a small chocolate bar, and offered it to him. "Don't worry, Leo," I said softly. "We'll figure this out." Just then my phone rang, startling me. It was Chloe. I answered immediately. "Chloe, where are you?" Chloe's voice was a strained whisper laced with panic. "Ava, where are you?" "I'm at platform 5, just like you said. I've been waiting for you." "Oh no," she breathed. "I'm at platform 3. Please get here fast. I'm so scared." I looked at Leo, his wide, worried eyes fixed on me. "Wait right here for a moment," I told him. "I promise I'll be right back." I took off, running through the station towards platform 3. My boots splashed through puddles, and my hair was damp from the rain. When I got there, I saw Chloe. She was huddled on the floor near a ticket machine, looking pale and terrified. "Chloe," I called out. She looked up, and a wave of relief washed over her face as she scrambled to her feet and ran to me, throwing her arms around me in a tight hug. Ava, I didn't know who else to call. I was so scared, she sobbed into my shoulder. What happened, Chloe? Talk to me, I said, holding her steady. She pulled back, her eyes darting around nervously. I think someone is following me, she whispered. My own eyes widened in shock. Who? Why would anyone be following you? I don't know, she said, her voice shaking. I saw this man on my bus. He just kept staring at me. When I got off, he got off too, and now he's here, somewhere. My heart began to pound in my chest. I scanned the area, trying to appear calm. Then Chloe gave a tiny, almost imperceptible nod towards the small cafe across the platform. That's him, she whispered. I looked and saw a man in a dark green jacket and a black beanie hat. He was trying to look casual, pretending to be absorbed in his phone, but his posture was rigid and I could feel his gaze on us. Stay right here, I said, my voice firmer than I felt. I'm going to talk to him. But as I took a single step forward, the man's head snapped up. He looked directly at us, his eyes wide with alarm, and then he turned and walked away quickly, melting into the crowd. We stood there for a moment, stunned, watching him disappear. Do you believe me now? Chloe asked, her voice small. I nodded grimly. Yes, let's go find station security. We found the help desk and explained the situation to a kind-looking woman. She immediately called a security guard over. The guard listened to our story with a serious expression and said, Don't you worry, we'll review the security cameras right away. Chloe seemed to relax a little. She squeezed my hand. Thank you, Ava. I have no idea what I would have done without you. I managed a weak smile. Next time, just make sure you send me to the right platform. We shared a small, nervous laugh, but a sense of unease still lingered. Then I remembered Leo. Wait here, I told Chloe. There's someone else I need to help. We went back to platform 5, and Leo was still there, sitting exactly where I had left him, clutching his bag. Chloe sat with him, talking to him in a soft, comforting voice while I went to the ticket counter. I explained Leo's situation to the ticket agent. She was incredibly helpful and was able to contact Leo's mother. When his mom arrived, she ran to him, hugging him tightly. She couldn't stop thanking me and Chloe, her eyes filled with grateful tears. A warmth spread through my chest. It felt good to help. When we finally left the station, the rain was still falling. Chloe and I huddled together under my umbrella and found a small cafe to sit, rest, and drink hot tea. We talked more about what had happened. Chloe admitted she thought her controlling ex-boyfriend might be behind it all. He had been furious when she broke up with him. Don't worry, I told her, taking her hand. You're safe now. If he ever tries anything like this again, we're going straight to the police. Chloe smiled, though it didn't quite reach her eyes. You're my best friend, Ava. Always, I replied. After our tea, we took a taxi home. I watched the city lights smear into long, glittering streaks through the rain-drenched window as Chloe rested her head on my shoulder. I felt exhausted, but also strangely strong. The day had been a whirlwind of fear, confusion, and kindness. The mysterious man, helping little Leo, being brave for Chloe. When I got home, my dad and sister were waiting anxiously. They hugged me tight as I recounted the entire day's events. You're my brave girl, my dad said, his voice thick with emotion. My sister looked at me with admiration. I want to be just like you one day, she said. That night, sleep didn't come easily. My mind replayed the events full of unanswered questions. But I knew one thing for certain. I wasn't alone. I had my family. I had my best friend. And I had a heart that knew how to be kind even when I was scared. About a week later, I was at work frothing milk for a latte when someone called my name. I turned and saw Leo and his mother standing at the counter. They had come to thank me again and brought me a small, beautifully wrapped box of homemade cookies. My heart swelled with happiness. On that chaotic, rainy day, I understood something profound. Sometimes terrifying things happen, and the world can feel like a scary place. But I learned that day that if we stand by each other, if we choose bravery and kindness in the face of fear, we can overcome anything together.